Okay, well, it is 12:01, so I think we're going to go ahead and get started. So hello, everyone. My name is Denise Bechtel. I am the team lead for energy and environment with PennTAP. I'd like to welcome you all here today on our webinar, the Manufacturing PA Innovation Program. I will be introducing you to our presenters, Jennifer Linebaugh. She is from the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development, DCED, and Colleen Mantini, representing Carnegie Mellon. Before we start, though, I'd like to go over a few logistics. If you have any technical difficulties accessing or hearing the presentation, you can use that chat pod and chat to us, and we'll try to address those problems promptly, okay? We'll wait to answer any questions at the end of the presentation. That will allow us to move through the material efficiently and set enough time aside for questions, questions and answers at the end of the presentation. And then one more thing, the complete webinar will be recorded and loaded onto our PennTAP website. So we will archive it for you. So first, I'd like to give you some information about PennTAP. The Pennsylvania Technical Assistance Program, PennTAP, we're here at Penn State University. We're a statewide technical assistance organization charged with supporting Pennsylvania businesses and anchor institutions, including manufacturers, municipalities, educational institutions, entrepreneurs, and economic development agencies. As a department within Penn State, we offer unique access to abundance of resources here at University Park and in all of our Commonwealth campuses too. And that includes our faculty, our staff, and our students. PennTAP can also provide clients with assistance from a rich network of government entities and private organizations. We focus on helping Pennsylvania businesses through two primary areas of expertise, our energy and environment services and our innovative services as well. Since being founded in 1965, we have delivered services and solutions to many Pennsylvania businesses and professionals. We've created a legacy of documented economic impact within the state and positive returns on investments to funding partners. In the past 10 years, we have worked with more than 3,700 organizations who have in turn reported approximately $300 million in economic benefits and the creation or retention of more than 4,000 Pennsylvania jobs. Our mission is to engage, empower, and educate Pennsylvania organizations through technical assistance and Penn State expertise and resources, as you can see in this slide here. And if you want to get in contact with PennTAP, there is our web address. So our services, as I mentioned, we have two areas of expertise. Under the energy and environment, we have our pollution prevention, energy efficiency assessments that we provide. We call that P2E2. We do E3, which is economy, energy, and environment projects. These projects combine lean manufacturing with our P2E2 assessments. We also do energy management systems, ENMS. We provide that support, and we do building retuning. And then under the innovation side, product and process improvement for any businesses, support for the Learning Factory through Penn State Engineering College, and we focus on student engagement, such as student entrepreneurship and students getting involved in doing on-site assessments with us. So we're very involved with students. I just want to mention some of the events that we have planned. The entrepreneurship ecosystem at Penn State. This webinar will provide more detail about the program, the application process, and how to make connections with Pennsylvania universities and colleges. That will be November 21st from noon to 1, just like all of our webinars are. The second one then is we have a building operations and building retuning conference. And it's planned for March 3rd of 2020. This is just a save the date. Information coming to our website by the end of October. We're holding it at the Nittany Lion Inn at Penn State University, and it's an all-day conference. You can always go to our website for more information regarding that. So now I would like to turn our attention to our presenters for today for the webinar. As mentioned earlier, we have Jennifer Linebaugh with us. She is the Executive Director of the Office of Technology and Innovation at DCED. Jennifer is responsible for supporting the technology industry in Pennsylvania. She oversees a variety of technology-based economic development programs designed to spur innovation and assist businesses across the Commonwealth. She will start off the presentation, and then Colleen will jump in later. So welcome, Jennifer and Colleen, and thank you for presenting today.
Thank you, Denise. Thank you, participants. We're really excited to be here. The one thing I've learned already in this webinar, it just reconfirms that Pennsylvania is a great place to start and build a business. There's an abundance of resources. You would never want to look at any other state. So good afternoon. The objectives of our program today are to give you an overview of our program, its benefits to manufacturers, academic institutions, and students. And lastly, we'll key in on how you can participate. To kick things off, we have a short video that includes some testimonials from a manufacturer and a student that participated in one of our first projects.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Linebaugh, and I work for the Pennsylvania Department of Community and Economic Development. As an Executive Director in the Office of Technology and Innovation, I oversee many of our state's technology-based economic development programs. In May of 2017, Governor Tom Wolf announced the launch of the Pennsylvania Manufacturing Innovation Program. This Manufacturing Innovation Program embeds the Commonwealth's best and brightest graduate and undergraduate students with local manufacturers. Once paired, the students embark on specific scientific research projects that helped in the commercialization of a new technology or a process improvement.
After joining and participating in the fellowship program, I was able to get my hands on the new technology with 3D sand printing. This technology is a game changer in the foundry business because it enables companies to get parts out faster and cheaper.
General Carbide is a producer of high quality tooling and wear parts. As a chief metallurgist, I'm responsible for the quality of the materials that we produce. I'm also highly involved with several research projects, like the one that we are running now with Dr. Schmillis and his research group in the University of Pittsburgh as part of the PA Manufacturing Innovation Program. In this project, we are exploring different 3D printing techniques to produce parts using our materials. Since our materials are highly engineered composites, it can get really challenging to change the production method that we've been using over the years. We are very lucky to have a good group of students that engage in this project and understand what it is that we do to help us in this challenge. I'm very grateful for this program. It allowed us to explore different production techniques than what we would do otherwise. The other side of this is that we were able to expose students to the existing technology and really advanced production technology that we have right here in Western Pennsylvania. We also learned through this project that it had a positive effect on our workforce. People that were involved in this project, they were very engaged, and it was really a motivating experience for them.
Our success would not be possible without the collaboration of our partners, which include our colleges and universities, industries, our industrial resource centers, DCED, and the strong leadership of our governor and legislature.
I would highly recommend students to join the fellowship program because it enables you to gain hands-on skills that you don't get in your normal college curriculum, as well as you're able to network with companies throughout Pennsylvania.
I think that this is a very important program. It is connecting new minds with the established industry.
Well, so just an overview of the program. It is funded through the PA Department of Community and Economic Development. And we also have approximately $3 million available right now to go towards projects. First and foremost, our goal is to advance innovation and market competitiveness for Pennsylvania manufacturers. And when we look at what makes a good project, first and foremost, that project needs to start with a Pennsylvania manufacturer and the ways that we can assist them. To date, we funded 43 projects all across the Commonwealth in 19 counties from 11 universities with 35 manufacturers to conduct research under the careful direction of a professor. This is a rich collaboration between industry and academia and students. You know, it takes strong teamwork, which is why the Department of Community and Economic Development asked Carnegie Mellon University to help administer the program. We're very grateful for CMU's expertise and specifically for Colleen Mantini, who takes the lead and serves as the point person for all aspects of the projects. Thank you, and Colleen, I'm going to turn things over to you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Just advance the slides a little bit. So we're going to turn to the project requirements. As you know, a lot of the impediments to small companies and mid-sized companies to working with universities oftentimes is the financial challenge of supporting a student. With this program, the state takes that challenge off the table because the state will provide $25,000 to $70,000 to be used to support a student working on the project. The project also must have a Pennsylvania manufacturing company and must address a new product or process innovation. The university has the burden of submitting the application, which is a short 3-page application online at the manufacturingpa.org website. Funding is used primarily, as I said again, for the student or the undergraduate, the graduate or undergraduate student effort required in the project. There are some modest amount of funds for other materials and supplies, but those types of things are usually, we look to the manufacturer to provide as cost share. Getting to the next bullet point, there is a one-to-one match. So whatever funding you request from the state to support the student, you need that amount as cost share. Cash is great in terms of cost share, but equally important is in-kind cost share from the company that shows real skin in the game and interest in the project. We see a lot of companies that offer material donation. They total up the cost of engineering staff working on the project or other technical staff, and that's how they come to this one-to-one match requirement. This time, we're also promoting the availability of project and capstone courses. If you want to have a group or team of students from the same or different disciplines to work on a project, those types of projects are also available for support through the Manufacturing PA program. Proposals are due on November 19th. And from there, they will be sent through a technical and business case review roughly in December and early January, with award notifications expected in February. I should mention that there are 2 periods of performance associated with this. In Jennifer's previous slide, as you can see, there's 2 different fiscal year funding streams available. There is an early start option. So if the company is ready to begin and the faculty member is ready to begin and the student has been identified, we encourage you to take advantage of that early start option beginning in May of 2020, extending through May 31st of 2021. That May 31st, 2021 is a hard deadline because those funds are associated with the prior fiscal year that the funds need to be exhausted by that point. Obviously, if you fit into the early start category, you can also check the standard project category as well. That's a different pool of funding that will start later in the year in August and then go through July 31st of 2021. That project, you can have a no-cost extension for a few months to complete the project if it's not already done. We would encourage you, as again, these are 2 different pools of funding, to maximize your chances of being funded. If you can start early, please check that in the application. Ask the faculty member to check that in the application. So then you'll maximize your chances of being funded. I should mention that companies partnering with universities as part of the applications, you have to write a letter of support at the proposal stage, Again, that would outline any cost share that you are providing as part of the project, and also discuss the impact of the project, the potential impact of the project on the company, how you see the economic development aspects of the project, and how this would allow the company to grow and innovate. There is another category. So if a company does not have a project partner involved that they've worked with in the past, or they're looking for another partner with maybe a different expertise, looking to broaden, on our website, and this is a snapshot of our website, in the middle of the page you'll see in bold and underlined an inquiry form. So a company can click that, describe a little bit about the company, you know, how many employees, where you're located, what the topic is, and maybe a question or an idea or a technical challenge that you want to solve. You know, what would you like to ask a university partner and a student to help you with in solving a process or new product improvement? If you check that and you'll answer those questions, I take that information and I send it to all of our partner universities across the state for faculty input. So that gets you in front of faculty, you know, all across the state. And we borrowed this faculty response form from Penn State. So for those of you who've worked with Penn State, this should look pretty familiar because it's almost the same. Faculty will answer and describe, you know, what their motivation is, interest in the project, what they bring to it, what skills and expertise, as well as maybe equipment that the university would have that would, you know, bring to bear on the project, as well as, you know, a short description of what their goals and their approach would be. And again, this is all dependent on how much information the company submits. It will depend upon how much information the faculty can respond to. So all these faculty responses from across the state will be provided back to the company, so the company can, you know, weigh the options of the different faculty and the different expertise that's available. The company can reach out to the faculty directly. They'll have the faculty contact information, or I can help broker meetings with the faculty to work on a project, to start, you know, talking about what the approach would be like and what could be done. If you come in through this system, again on the website, submitting an inquiry form and getting responses from across the state, you can submit anywhere up till the end of the fiscal year. So anywhere till June 30th, 2020. Because we realize it does take time to you know, broker these faculty relationships and find the student and scope out the project and come up with the approach. So those types of projects, again, that come in through the website will be accepted through the end of the fiscal year. However, if you do know a company or a university right now that you have been working with, a faculty member and a student, we do encourage you to try to meet that deadline of November 19th to get your application in. And with that, I think that brings us to the end of our slides and open to the question and answer segment. So we'll take questions, I suppose, on the chat button. Mm-hmm. So do we have any questions about the program or how to?
So if anybody has any questions, just type it into the chat pod. We'll just give you a few minutes.
How does one protect the IP? That's another, you know, as an important impediment to a lot of companies working with universities. So for this program, we're very lucky that the state does not have any interest in the IP. You know, they have more interest in the company growing. So that's up to you to negotiate with the university involved. A lot of these projects don't have formal agreements around them, largely because some of this, you know, since they're short term, they're relatively short with a year and a half. You know, it's not expected that a lot of IP is going to come out of that initial project, but rather what comes next, what the next step that would be come forward from that project and the preliminary data you would gather. But you are free to negotiate with the university. If you want to have an agreement, you certainly can do that. So for institutions that are not already partners, how should they go about becoming one? I assume that means for universities, the program is, as Jennifer mentioned, open to any university across the state. So if you have questions on the university side about how to put together a budget or how to, you know, work with a company, I'd be glad to help. As far as the universities, again, I'd be glad to help. Please give me a call or fill out the inquiry form on the website.
Sure, and we really encourage any accredited college or university in Pennsylvania to put together a project and apply for the program. We'd like to see one in every region.
Okay, I see. Can you provide a real-world example of a project that has used this program? Okay, so I'll talk about one that I know most about because it's a Carnegie Mellon project. So we have Amatech, which is a powders producer on the eastern side of the state, and they make powder that is thought to be possibly a good candidate for 3D printing. However, their powder is very jagged, so you're not sure how you can spread it in one of the metals additive processing machines. So what we're trying to do at Carnegie Mellon is figure out how we can make this, adapt the machines. And we're using an X1 machine, again, another Pennsylvania company in Murraysville, Pennsylvania, to figure out how we can use Amatech powder in X1 3D printing machines. Because the idea is that these Amatech powders are a lot inexpensive because of how they're produced. So if we can get an inexpensive powder in a new capability for a 3D printing machine, that's a bonus for both companies because that can open up new markets for Amatech as well as open new markets for X1. Okay, the questions are coming in. Let me just scroll up here. Is it possible to submit an early start project if you don't yet have a university partner? I think that all depends on how quickly you find a university partner. So the first thing would be to submit an inquiry form, and I will get that out as soon as possible. So it's all about that, matchmaking process with universities. I can say that a lot of universities, because the application period is open right now, are really in the hunt for companies. We have some faculty coming saying, I'd really like to be part of this. Can you help me find a company? And of course, the companies are the ones that really drive this. So I would encourage you at this point to fill out those inquiry forms and send them to us because we do have a captive audience from our faculty at this point. How rigid is the new product requirement? Can improvements be to an existing product?
Sure, absolutely. We're open to that.
What are the project selection criteria? So there's two different levels of review. The first level of review is a technical review. And we take all the projects and send them out, not to their own university for review, but to other universities. And we get reviewers largely in the field of that project. So if it's a mechanical engineering professor at one university, we'll probably go to another MECE faculty at another university to look at that technically, because we just want to make sure that these projects are technically feasible. They can be done within a year and a half, and the budget is, accurate. From there, it'll be turned over to all the different IRCs for a business case review. So we map all the partner companies to these applications to the relevant industrial resource center. And then those applications are sent to each IRC for the applications that involve companies in their district, as well as DCED and other economic development professionals. Look at that for the business case review. They're really looking at, okay, these projects are technically feasible, the budget makes sense, but what is the impact to the company? Because at the end of the day, that's what the state is looking for, economic development and innovation in companies for economic prosperity.
Sure, and I would just add that we're really looking for that applied research, something that's going to really make an impact on the company to help them either do things more efficiently or to bring a new product to market, cheaper, faster way to do things, and that it has real impact. Potentially even what really excites us is when we know it's going to greatly has the potential to increase revenues to perhaps hire some of those great students that are working on that project.
Okay, are you paying students on an hourly rate? Can you use the 20 to 70 or 70K be used for? It should be used primarily for the student. I will say it varies across the state. Each university seems to handle student reimbursement differently. A lot of these students are PhD students working on dissertations. So for some of the more advanced, deeper research questions in these projects, we do cover tuition and stipend. which for a private university will get you around $70,000. And obviously for the state schools, you can get, you know, the student on a PhD tuition and stipend, plus some other funding for materials and supplies. But again, the balance really has to be the state money is really for the student mostly, and then an ancillary amount for any materials and supplies. And obviously for undergraduates, universities reimburse undergraduates differently. We see a lot of hourly rates for those types of students. Is this a semester-long project? It can be as short as a semester or as long as, we're generally looking for a year project. It certainly can be a semester. Obviously a lot of capstones are semesters. So I would say about a year average or you know, up to a year and a half, but usually these are around a semester to a year. And we certainly expect, as I said, more semester projects with the capstones. Does it have to necessarily relate to manufacturing? As an example, a power generation facility using renewable fuel reached me a while ago regarding an issue with their process that once in a while puts the whole operation to a stop. Can we submit a proposal solving that issue?
Well, it is a competitive program, and I would say that we're certainly going to rank higher a project that is more closely related to a new product or process. But saying that, I would encourage you, put in an application and we'll take a look at it.
Okay, do you have a list for companies that are willing to collaborate? So I suppose that relates to the inquiry form and where those lists come. We've gotten a few, and I can provide that information to Denise to send to you. The companies thus far, this is our first, this year is our first real effort to push that to companies. So we have a few, and we have a few that have been funded in the last round too. So we've had some success stories, but we're really pushing that element of the companies coming in without an academic partner at this point.
And I would say that if you're looking for a company to partner with, is to reach out to your region's industrial resource center and to contact them and say that you're open and willing, and maybe they can assist you as well in finding a company to work with.
Who do all these inquiries go to? So since Carnegie Mellon maintains the website, they come primarily to me, and I share those with Jennifer. And also we have either a government relations or a corporate relations, industry relations person at each of the universities involved in the program. And that changes as we get more universities come into the program. Then we just broaden the pool of universities that we have involved for these types of projects that don't have industry, that don't have academic partners. So they come to me, I share them with Jennifer, we discuss them, and then we send those out to industry relations and corporate relations folks at all the universities that are part of the program. How can one serve as a reviewer? Oh, that would be great. Send me your email. Send me an email, cmantini@cmu.edu. I'm sure Denise will provide this information afterward. Just send me your CV. And if you have any close collaborations with any other universities beyond your institution, please let me know.
And I would just say that's a great way, if you're an academic institution, to start to participate in the program, is to serve as a reviewer. It lets you see the types of projects that we see, and will kind of help guide you in submitting a future project of your own.
Okay, and I see a note from Scott Harshman that went to the DCED website on that website that says that Carnegie Mellon is the sole applicant. That's for it to be the fiscal agent for the program. If you go to the Manufacturing PA website where we actually accept the applications, you'll see that any university is eligible.
Correct.
Do you pay professors to help entrepreneurs develop an idea? I need $50,000 for my idea. Can you refer me to venture capitalists?
Oh, that's a big question. So I would say your first point to place to go for information like that is to reach out to our Ben Franklin technology partners. They make great introductions to venture capital and can assist you in that way. That's really the role. We at the Commonwealth, we don't have that expertise internally to evaluate new technologies. We rely heavily on our academic institutions and our economic development partners the Ben Franklin Technology Partners in particular. If it's a new device, medical device, or a drug therapeutic, we're going to refer you to our life science greenhouses because, quite frankly, they have that expertise that we don't have, and that would be a good starting block. If you would send me a quick email to jeleinbach@pa.gov, I'd be happy to make that connection for you.
Okay, and other faculty can serve as technical reviewers. Yes, please send me your CV. Does the student need to be working on the product, or can the involvement be limited to the research? I think the answer is yes to that. Ideally, we want the student to have as much engagement with the company as possible. As Jennifer mentioned, this is an important potential pipeline for students to seek future employment at companies on the research end and product development. So yes, the student can be involved, as involved as the student can be in the product, that's fine, but it can also be focused more on the research.
And to encourage that, part of the funds, one of the eligible expenses is for that travel for that student or the professor from the academic institution to the manufacturer's facility, so they can get that real hands-on personal contact. So we greatly encourage that.
What is our emails? I think Jennifer's email is on the screen right now, and mine is cmantini, M-A-N as in Nancy, T-I-N-I @cmu.edu. And if you look at the Manufacturing PA website, you can find both of our contact information there as well. Can you put the link up again for the manufacturer to submit a inquiry? Yes. And in the meantime, I will also look at the next question. Professors will meet me. I live in State College. I'm not sure what Kevin Mullen's question is about. Professors will meet me. I live in State College. If that relates to how a company can work with a university, does it need to be, does a company need to be geographically in the same location as the university? We've seen universities in the East with project partners, industry partners in the West, and vice versa. So as Jennifer said, there are travel funds available. What usually happens is the company usually goes to the university to meet the student and the team and maybe see any research equipment that's available, and then vice versa, the student team usually goes to the company as well. And from there on, I think a lot of things are, business is conducted over email and through monthly or weekly conference calls. Research on, okay, so there, I go back one more slide. So that's the faculty response form, and there's the website where you can see the inquiry form in the middle of the page for the prior question. Research on innovation to solve a problem. We are looking for a way to embed sensors into silicon and need a solution to embed flexible, conductive materials that stretch with the silicon. What if we are making portions of this in another country? Does all the manufacturing need to be in Pennsylvania?
No, but the manufacturer needs to be based here in Pennsylvania. We certainly understand that sometimes things have to happen overseas. So again, submit a proposal. We'll take a look at it.
And I would encourage in the company, in the letter of support that has to accompany the application, if you could, I think it would be better for you if you outline, what is done in Pennsylvania and what the economic impact is in Pennsylvania. If you make that clear, I think that would be helpful. Professor would be better than a grad student. So currently we don't fund faculty salary. At this point, the program is really designed for students. Faculty salary, we encourage to be counted as cost share. That's an easier way to get cost share, because we do fully expect that the faculty member is overseeing the project with the graduate or undergraduate students. But at this point, the program is not open to funding faculty members at any of the universities. Can we send students to China?
Oh, no. I'm so sorry about that. We have a restriction that it's for domestic travel only.
So I think we've gone through all the questions in the chat link. Are there any more, or any come up afterward? Again, please reach out to Denise or to Jennifer, and I'll put their contact information back on the screen. And thank you again for your willingness to learn about our program, and we look forward to seeing a lot of applications from you all.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us today.
We do have a question. What is the link for from Kevin
The link for
this webinar? Kevin, is that what you're asking? We are sending the webinar. It's being archived and then it'll be posted on the PennTAP website, okay, after today. All of our webinars that we do, we post on the PennTAP website, okay? And just as a, just for an FYI, Colleen's information, cmantini@cmu.edu, and her phone number 412-268-5314. And I apologize for not having that on that last slide for you folks. Okay. Thank you, ladies, so much. What wonderful information and a lot of great questions from the attendees that participated in the webinar. So thank you, everybody, for taking your time out to be with us today. We appreciate it. You will be getting copies of these slides in an email, and this is also being archived, as I mentioned. So thanks, everybody, and have a great day.